Start the next topic, applications of chromatography. As this chromatography is separation technique, there are various applications of chromatography. We can use this chromatography technique in various industries for separation of the components from the complex mixture. And we will study the applications such as the qualitative and quantitative analysis. Applications of chromatography. The first application is qualitative analysis. Now what is the qualitative analysis? Qualitative analysis means we are identifying which components are present in the sample. Means there is the separation of the components. We are checking the quality of the sample. This is what qualitative analysis. And what is quantitative analysis? Quantitative analysis means we are measuring how much quantity of that sample is present in the mixture. Okay, now we will study this qualitative analysis. Now from this qualitative analysis we can identify the sample. This is what detector response, and this is a chromatogram, detector response versus time. We get the peaks like this. Okay, these peaks represents the which components are present in the mixture depending upon the peak height. This is what peak height of that sample, there of that component present in the mixture. Depending upon this peak height and position of these components on the stationary phase, we can identify the components from the mixture. Now by using this chromatography we can see which component, we can identify the presence of different components in the mixture. Okay, by using this chromatography, by using this chromatogram, we can say which component are present in the mixture. There are various complex mixture such as the amino acids. These amino acids can be separated by using the chromatographic technique. Okay, now this amino acid is not the only method for the separation. We can also use the other methods such as spectral methods. We can use the IR spectroscopy for this. But the spectral method is not only method. We have to firstly identify the sample by using the chromatography. We have to firstly perform the chromatographic technique, then and then only we can use the spectral technique. Only spectral technique cannot give the correct identification of the sample. Firstly, for the complex mixture, firstly we have to do the chromatographic technique. After that, the separated components, on that separated components, spectral analysis will perform. Means this chromatography is the preliminary process. This is the preliminary process in the identification of the component. Okay, then it can be used for the complex sample. Very complex sample can be separated by using the chromatographic technique. We can separate very complex samples. Then this is the essential step in the analysis, because we have to first perform chromatographic technique, then other techniques can be used for the identification, so our process will be easy. Okay, this is the essential technique. This is all about the qualitative analysis, how we can separate the components from the mixture, how we can identify that component on the mixture. We are identifying the mixture on the basis of this peak height, means retention time. On the basis of the retention time we can identify the components in the mixture. Now we will start with the next point, that is quantitative analysis. This is the second application of this chromatographic technique, quantitative analysis. What is quantitative analysis? We are measuring how much quantity of that component present in the mixture. Now there are various methods for measuring the quantity of that sample. For the quantitative analysis there are 5 methods. First is the analysis based on peak height. Second is the analysis based on peak area. Third is the calibration and standard. Second is the internal calibration method. And last is the area normalization method. These are 5 different methods for the quantitative analysis. Analysis based on peak height, analysis based on peak area, then calibration and standard, then internal calibration method in which we are using internal standard, then the area normalization method. These are the 5 methods. We will study one by one. Now first is the analysis based on peak height. Now the peak height can be determined. Firstly we will plot the chromatogram. This is detector response versus time. Okay. Now on this chromatogram, suppose we get this type of peak. Okay. These 2 peaks we are obtaining on the chromatogram. Now how we are finding the peak height? We will draw first baseline at the bottom of this peak. Then from the baseline we will draw one perpendicular line. This is what? Retention time. This point is retention time and this is peak height. It is represented by H. Okay. This is the peak height of first component and this will be the peak height of second component. We can say it H2. Okay. This TR means retention time. From this retention time we can determine height of this peak. Okay, depending upon this height, we are comparing this height with the standard, then we can identify the sample and we can use this peak height for calculation of the area of the sample. This area of this peak is equal to peak height into half of peak width, means W half. Okay, this is W half. Thus peak height is used to calculate the quantity of the component in the mixture, as peak height is responsible for the quantitative analysis. Now we should take some precautions during measurement of this peak height. Which are that precautions? You have, when we are measuring peak height of the sample and peak height of the standard, the conditions should be same. You should not vary the conditions during the measurement of peak height of sample and the standard. Now which are that conditions? The first condition is temperature, second is elution flow rate, and third is rate of injection. Okay, you have to follow three conditions. Means temperature must be same for measurement of peak height of the sample and the standard. Then elution flow rate, it must be same for the sample and the standard, and rate of injection also must be same for sample and the standard. If we vary this rate of injection, then what happen? We will get the early peaks on the chromatogram. Okay, therefore these three conditions should be followed. Then next condition is you should not overload our column. To determine the when we are measuring peak height, you should not overload the column. This is about analysis, quantitative analysis based on the peak height. Now we will see the next point, analysis based on the peak area. This is detector response versus time. Now area of the peak can be determined by peak height into peak width. This is the more this method gives more accurate result than the peak height, because in the peak height this RT, there will be the change in the retention time. This peak height will be affected by the retention time and the resolution and the column efficiency. Okay, peak height will be affected by retention time and the column efficiency, but the peak area is not affected by the retention time and the column efficiency. Therefore, this method gives most precise result than the peak height. Okay, now this area of the peak can be given by peak height into 1/2 of the peak width. Now for determination of the peak area, we are joining our chromatographic equipment with the computer. Okay, or the digital electronic integrator. We are using digital electronic integrator or computer for measuring the peak area. Nowadays we are using digital electronic integrator for calculation of this peak area. This digital electronic integrator is equipped with our chromatographic equipment, okay, so that we can calculate the peak area. We obtain the chromatogram on this digital electronic integrator or the computer. But in last days, in the past, the planimeter is used. In past, the planimeter is used for calculation of that peak area. Nowadays, digital integrator is used for calculation of the peak area. Now we will see the next method for calculation of this quantitative analysis, that is calibration and the standard. This is our third method. Calibration and standard. In this method, we are taking the series of the standard. This is the most appropriate method than these two methods, okay, than peak height and peak area. Calibration method is mostly used because we are taking the series of the standard along with the unknown concentration, okay. Then we plot the graph of concentration versus peak height or peak area. Firstly, we are taking the series of the standard along with the unknown concentration of the sample. Then we run that chromatogram, okay. We obtain one chromatogram. From that chromatogram we obtain this value, peak height and peak area of the standard. Then we plot this peak height or peak area versus this concentration. We obtain the points like this. Which goes from the center. Then we can calculate this unknown concentration of the sample by using this calibration method. But there is the error in this method. What is that error? This error is important error is the uncertainty in the volume. There is the error in the calibration method which is due to the uncertainty in volume. Now how this uncertainty in volume arises? This uncertainty in volume arises during the sample injection. We are injecting the sample less than 1 microliter. Then what happened? We have to use micro syringe, okay. Now what happened? When we use the gas chromatography, we inject the sample in the heated port, okay, in the heated sample injector port. There what happens? Evaporation of our sample is taking place. Due to this conversion of this liquid sample into the gaseous state, there will be the uncertainty in the volume in the gas chromatography. This uncertainty in the volume can be decreased by the use of the valves. Okay, we can use the valves. They can decrease this uncertainty in the volume. This is about the calibration and the standard, in which we are taking series of the standard along with the unknown sample. When we get the chromatograms of the sample, from that chromatogram we can calculate peak height and peak area. We plot this peak height or peak area versus the concentration of the standard, and from that graph we get the points like this. We can calculate the unknown concentration of the sample. Now there are the errors. These errors are due to the uncertainty in the volume. This uncertainty is due to the sample injection, because we are taking the sample less than 1 microliter. But for this we are using micro syringe. Okay, now this is happens in the gas chromatography, because we are evaporating the sample. We want the sample in the gaseous form in gas chromatography. Therefore sample is injected in the heated port of the sample injector, where what happens, there will be the evaporation of the sample. Due to this, uncertainty in the volume mostly arises. Okay, therefore we can use the valves to decrease these errors in uncertainty in the volume. Okay, now the next method is the internal standard method. This internal standard method gives the highest precision. Okay, now this uncertainty in the volume is not happened in this internal standard method. Therefore mostly this method will be preferred, because uncertainty is in volume is not there in the internal standard method. In this method, carefully measured quantities of the internal standard are taken along with the standard samples. Okay, we are taking the internal standard. We are first calculating the quantity. We are carefully calculating the quantity of this internal standard. We are taking this internal standard along with the series of the standard solutions. Okay, now these internal standard are taken along with the standard and the sample. Then what happen? The ratio of the analyte to the internal standard of the peak area or the peak height. This is the analytical variable for this method. Ratio of the analyte to the internal standard of the peak area and the peak height. By calculating this, we can get the internal standard. Okay, now this internal standard peak should have the value greater than internal standard 1.5. If this resolution is greater than 1.5, then we get well separated bands. Okay, this internal standard peak should appear close to the peak of the analyte, and internal standard peak should have the value greater than 1.5. Now we will study the next technique. Area normalization method. Now in this area normalization method also there is absence of the uncertainties in the volume. This error is absent in the area normalization method as well as in the internal standard method. There is the absence of the error due to the uncertainties in the volume. Now in this area normalization method we have to do complete illusion of all the peaks. Then we are calculating the area of all the peaks from the chromatogram. Then this can be calculated by ratio of the analyte to the area of the each peak. Okay, by using that area we can calculate this normalization method. As we are taking area for analysis, therefore name of this method is area normalization method. These are the 5 methods which are used for the quantitative analysis. Which are that 5 method? First is the based on the peak height.